Hello, and welcome to Unedited. Hello, this is Thursday. We're here live on a Thursday. And I don't know if my headset's working or not. Do you feel a little muffled? Yeah, I got a little bit. There we go, a little bit better. So we're here live on a Thursday talking to entrepreneurs, small business owners about their lives, about the things they endure in small business. And today is no different, as I have a senor, Mr. Mario Garay here with me today. If you could cheer him on, he's back in action here. Hello, sir.
How's everybody doing?
This is Rob Morales, RCO Network here, live on a Thursday talking to, like I said, small business owners and entrepreneurs about their business, their lives, and the things they got going on in the world out there. So we come at you. If you could give us a little love, hit that little heart button because, we appreciate the loves. If you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, and some of the LinkedIn, give us a like. What else are you doing right now besides watching us? So go ahead and put that in there. You can catch us here live every Thursday at the 5 o'clock-ish hour talking to people about their lives. Something like that. It's been a while since I've done the intros. There's a little bit of forgiveness there, but hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Good. It's like you said, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
We're here in Arizona, and it's not 120 degrees.
That reminds me, I got to turn the fan. There you go. I'll get some air circulating in here. So, we do this show. We talk to small business owners, and you're no different, right?
Right.
You own MG Health Insurance.
Yep, correct.
And you're the sole owner, right?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been doing this?
I just went into my third year. Yeah. So,
all by yourself, huh?
All by myself, yep.
So we're here to talk about kind of the nuances. I think you've been doing small business a lot longer than that. You just happen to be doing this particular insurance thing, the health insurance, for the last 3 years. Right?
Correct. And let me correct that. So I started by myself.
Yeah.
But now I have a great team that's supporting me. But yeah, you're right. I owned my own business. My first business, I owned it when I was about 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
So as we were mentioning a few minutes ago, it was a pretty good start. It was rough. But as a 23-year-old, a little difficult if you don't have the guidance to manage a business that is very successful when it first starts.
So what was your very first business that you got into? You said you're very young, right?
Yeah. So I was 20. I believe I was 23. I used to live in Yuma, and I was an electrical contractor. So it was easy, but it was tough. It was easy because I knew the right people. I was busy the first few years.
Yeah.
But I've never ran a business. I went from being a regular electrician, no supervisor experience, none of that stuff, to being the owner of the company.
Yeah, I think people get in their mind sometimes that they see somebody that's able to do stuff like, hey, I can do that. Mm-hmm. And then when you actually get into it, you're like, oh, it's not what I thought it was.
Right.
I think a lot of people actually get into the passion of things, like electrician. When I first got into videography, I got into the passion of it, but then realized there's a whole other side to things as far as the business goes.
Right.
And there's so much more to do than just, make videos,
mm-hmm.
And you have to make people happy in a way. And sometimes they're not always happy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you watch these TVs or these shows on TV, or you go to YouTube and you watch all these shows, and it's like, oh my God, look at everything they're doing. But you're not seeing what's going on behind the scenes. It's easy to go wire up a house or a building, but what type of work did it take for you to get that one house or that one building, for you to get started, right? You got to hire people. Yeah. You have to buy material. You have to have good credit. So material people will, lend you or give you material so you can build a place. You need tools. Something's going to happen. You have somebody quit on you. What's your action plan? There's a lot of stuff behind it.
And there's so many people out there that get mad at their bosses or mad at the owner, right? They're like, I could do this better. I'm an electrician. I can be better than him. Look he's just in the office all day. What does he know about electricity? He doesn't know the new codes,
right?
All that stuff. But you don't realize he's managing the business part of it so that you can work and get paid. And so it's a different dynamic. It's just crazy to do that.
Yeah. And so I learned it was a rough way for me to learn.
Yeah.
I ended up losing the business, right? I lost it when the economy took a hit. I think it was
Oh, the
2007.
2007 crash.
Yeah. But I can't just blame it on the economy. I know that I was not prepared. If I would have been prepared, I wouldn't have lost the business. But, you know, I was young. Again, I didn't have the mentorship, and I didn't know where to seek it. Had I been prepared, I'd probably still be in business. But I see the positive out of that. And now the way I'm running my business, it's totally different. Right? You see money coming in, and at a young age, 23, 24 years old, you're getting these big old fat checks, and it's like, oh, wow, let's go do this, and let's go do that.
And party it up, yeah.
Yeah,
let's go to
absolutely,
Vegas.
yeah. And it's not like that anymore, right? Now I see money coming in, but it's not my money. It's money that I have to use to grow my business.
Do you think you got caught up, and I know I have before too, you get caught up in like the money part of it, where you're just blowing it, not really saving it. You're like, shit, I can do another job and I can cover what I just lost. Hey, honey, let's go to Vegas this weekend. I'll just blow $2,000 and then, you know, make it up on the next job. And then there's a big downfall, and then I'm like, holy shit, I didn't really prepare for that because I was planning on another job that was coming through. They already made the deposit, but they just pulled out.
Right.
You know, and there's so many things, and I think that's part of our culture. We're just so caught up in the moment and paying for things and paying for the future,
right,
versus saving for the future.
Right.
You know, and it's just like we're taught that at a very young age. Every commercial, every advertisement is about buying the next big thing.
Right.
Like the new iPhones that just came out.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the emails and everything else, and I'm like, holy, maybe I should get a new iPhone. And I purposely didn't buy the 12 because I'm like, what do I get out of that?
Right.
What do I mean, I have the camera, so I don't need the camera.
Right. You
know, and it's the same apps. Everything's the same, but for some reason I'm like looking at the emails and they market it really good. So I don't know. Like I think a lot of us get caught up in it just because that's our culture. Yeah. Buy the next thing. Live the style. Live today. Forget about tomorrow, kind of thing.
Right. And it's funny you bring up the iPhone because I think it was this morning.
Are you
yesterday.
looking at me?
And one of my guys comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, Mario, have you seen it? Did you see it?" And I'm like, "What? The new iPhone?" And I was like, I saw something, but I didn't really. He's like, bro, I'm going to get it. I was like, dude, you and me got the same phones the same year. You just got it. He's like, I know, but this is a new one. All right. I mean, you just said it. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same apps. And every time I've upgraded, it's like, oh, well, I don't see what I got, but I just spent I put another $25 on my account every month. And then I had to spend another $80 on the stupid case.
Yeah.
And it's still the same thing.
It's the same thing. You can still take pictures and you can still make calls and text messages.
Exactly. And again, tying that to business, I think when you're younger and you're ill-experienced, you're kind of still in that mindset, you know. And I don't know if that's been your experience too. You're just in that like, hey, I'm just gonna make it up tomorrow,
right?
You know, and then you don't plan, and then there is a big downfall, and then we have to change. And if you're not prepared for that change, then you're left holding the bag, and you have to do something else. Is that what happened to you?
Absolutely. And I think even as I've grown and I've gained experience, I think there's still a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I know that not to let that go too far. If I say, okay, I'm going to spend this cash that I hadn't planned on spending, I know I have to go out there and do something else. But don't go spend more and more and more if you haven't done that something else yet. When I was younger, that wasn't the case. It was like, oh, I got to check. And then I'll look and I'll say, okay, I have these pending invoices. Oh, I'll cover it. And then, let me spend a little bit more. Wait, how much more? I think I have a little bit more wiggle room here. And then, you know, it's easy, man. You see big money at that young age and you're like, yeah, I'm on top of the world.
You go buy the truck and then you go like look for the house and all that stuff. Yeah, I got caught up in that too.
Yeah.
You know, it was so funny too. Like when I paid off my credit card in college, first thing I did was go spend my tuition money on like a home entertainment system.
Right.
It's like $400, and I knew I shouldn't, but I'm like, shit, it was on sale, man. It was on sale.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here talking to Mario Gray from MG Health Insurance. He's in the insurance business, you know, and there's been some transition in between there. And so, like, as far as insurance goes, because you said there's been a couple businesses in between, and we only have like half an hour, so we can't get into every single business.
Right.
Is health insurance like it? Is that the thing that's like called you and say, hey, this is happening for you?
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. It is. Reason for that is I get to help people and educate people on health insurance. You know, from a young age, we all have health insurance when we work for an employer. I'm gonna say maybe 90 to 95% of those people that have that insurance have no idea what health insurance is.
Yeah.
Right. And what I do now is before I even sign somebody up, I'm able to walk you through what insurance does for you, how it works, right? Deductibles, co-insurances, max out of pockets. A lot of people don't know that. And what I do now is, you know, our motto is helping other people every day. And I love that because I am that type of person where whether it's a client that I'm helping out or the guy sitting next to me, I'll take that extra time. I'll go that extra mile to try and help them out. So helping other people every day, you know, as corny as it may sound to some people, I love it. That's what's helping me very, very successful.
Yeah, and then starting a business too. Like I knew coming into real estate that I was gonna cancel my insurance, like everything that you're comfortable with, like with a W-2. Like if you go to work every day, the few things that you're comfortable with is a paycheck every 2 weeks, health insurance. That's pretty much it. Yeah. and guarantee that you're probably not going to like your boss, no matter where you work. But you get kind of reliant on those two things, and then when they're gone, it's like it's a scary thing. Especially when you're starting a business, you're like, okay, shit, I'm going to do this insurance thing, I'm going to do this real estate thing. Boom. Well, what happens if I get sick?
Right.
You know, is there plans like that for people that
there are? I work with a lot of solopreneurs.
Yeah.
So you know, just what you talked about right now. There's people that start their own business and they end up being very successful in a very short amount of time. And they have money for this. They have insurance for their vehicle. They have insurance for their cell phone.
Yeah.
But what about themselves? What's going to happen if you end up in the hospital and you have this successful business that you're running and you're the only one that's running that business? Who's going to run the business when you're hospitalized? Who's going to go talk to your clients if you're in the hospital in a coma? You know, it's things we don't think about because we're on top of the world. And it's like, it just, you know, I mentioned my son started working with me.
Yeah.
And he just started a few weeks ago. So we asked him, I said, hey, you have health insurance? He's like, no, I'm young. Why do I need health insurance? And I'm like, dude, are you listening to yourself right now?
And he's helping you sell insurance?
Yeah, and he's helping you sell insurance, you know? So that's when I go and then I'm like, oh man, you know what? No matter what, I'm thinking that everybody knows what I know.
Yeah. But
I have to go back the few years that I've been here, what I've learned, and I have to remember that I didn't know what I know now, right? These new guys coming in here, yeah, they think they're young and they think they're Superman, and they don't need health insurance, you know. So again, that's somewhere where even with it being my son, I get to sit down with him and say, hey, here's what you're doing, here's why you're helping other people. Help yourself, you know.
Yeah. It's such and again, you know, when you're younger, you just don't care as much, or you just, because I think you're limited on funds, right? I mean, when I was in high school, I think I was clearing like $300 a week. And granted, like, you know, minimum wage was like $4 an hour then. So I was clearing like $300 and that seemed like a lot,
right?
You know, $20 at the time just seemed like a lot. So, I mean, I don't know what premiums are. I pay like $340 a month just because I'm my own employee.
Right.
And, you know, it's not a detriment, but it's like, I don't really use it as much. So on the one side of it, it's like, I know I'll use it when I need it, but I don't need it every month of every day.
Right.
You know, and so I when people don't need it, they feel like, oh, why am I spending this money?
Yeah.
You know, where is it going? Again, you brought up a good point. Buy an iPhone 13, they'll spend the $100 a month for insurance, but then they want to insure themselves.
Right.
You know, and if they drop their phone, that's like, oh my God, I just bought this phone. You know,
Yeah.
But they won't spend it on themselves, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And I have, you know, it's funny. I have people that call me and say, hey, Mario, is there anything cheaper for me because I'm not using my health insurance? you know what, Mario, I think I'm going to cancel my insurance because I'm not using it.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, you're not supposed to use your health insurance. Health insurance is something you use if you end up having to use it.
Yeah.
You know, I always give them an example and I say, hey, look, you go and you buy a brand new car, right? You put full coverage on it. You know you have full coverage on your vehicle. It doesn't mean you wake up every morning and you go slam it into a house because you have full coverage. You have the insurance on your vehicle in case something happens.
Oh.
You may be the safest driver in the world, but what about the guy pulling up behind you? That's what you want insurance for.
Yeah, and I did see like a 6-car accident on the way to work today. So it was crazy. It's off the 60, literally like 6 cars like bumped into each other, you know, so... But we're at the halfway part of the show, Senor. So I'm here with Mario Garay of MG Health Insurance. We're talking about health insurance, but we're really talking about how to start a business and the things that we've had to endure. So hang on there 1 minute. We're going to be going to our sponsor, and we'll be back in about 60 seconds or so. So hang in there.
We are a community.
We are a community.
We are a community.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
A community of entrepreneurs and owners.
We face many challenges.
But we lead with our hearts.
And we push forward.
Push forward.
We push
forward.
forward.
To overcome any obstacle.
And we have found a place
That we can share ideas. To support one another.
And help each other.
When it matters most.
Come join us.
Join us.
Come join us because
This is our
This is our CEO network.
I can't do it. I can't smile at the end.
That was our CEO Network. We're coming at you here live on a Thursday talking to small business entrepreneurs about the nuances and things they got going on. So part of that, we do have an upcoming event, and Gabby would kick me in the ass if I didn't mention it. So I'm mentioning it now. So if you want to go over to Eventbrite, I'm going to go ahead and put that on display now. Go over to Eventbrite and catch us at our next marketing event that is coming up October 21st. Here, look, there's Mario right there. Let me move him over real quick. Unveiling our true selves. So on October 21st, come and view and be part of this synergy that we call our CEO Network. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put those in the comment section below, and we'll get to them as we get to them. You know, that's just who we are. So join us on the 21st. Right now, the winning 10 is the coupon code through the month of September. So you get $10 off on your tickets if you go ahead and sign up before the end of the month. So back to normal. Hello, sir. Let me reintroduce you. Mario Garay here. Mario Garay from MG Health Insurance. How you doing, sir?
Good.
So we left before the commercial talking about kind of the struggles and the things that you embark upon relating to a business, you know, starting at a young age, 21, to now, how old are you?
A little older than 21.
I just turned 42 this year, so shit's turning gray a little bit, and it's not looking too pretty here. Like these bags are constantly annoyances on the eyes, but I think that's just for anybody. But I experience is probably the one word that I think all of us have to have in order to have a thriving business.
Right.
You know, we start off thinking we know what we want, we know the direction that things are going, but then as soon as we get into it, not so much.
Correct.
So you want to tell about your experiences and stuff too with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, you know, I had my first business around the age of 23, 24 years old. Now, doing pretty good on the business that I'm managing now. I have a great team that works with me, that supports me, starting with my wife. And then, of course, now I just got my son as part of my team. Yeah. But I also have quite a few people that work with me. You know, I have some pretty good leaders. You know, I have Carl, who's been with the company a little bit longer than me. But we're all small business owners, and we're all a team. You know, I have another recent leader that I just got at the beginning of the year, Brody. And so with these guys, you know, we're trying to build a very, very strong team where we're bringing in new people and we're mentoring them and we're helping them out so they can start their own business. But one of the things is we don't want them to go through the same things we went through at the beginning. So we try and share our experiences and obviously coach them, develop them, follow up, and do all that, you know, the mentorship stuff.
Yeah.
in order to help them be successful.
Well, I guess as a footnote to mentorship, because you brought it up, and it's been on my mind too. We've been helping Sierra. She owns Cleaning Complete Services, so she's a cleaning service, and we've taken her on as kind of a mentee. And do you think it's a deficit in a way, because you had to go through the struggles, you had to like figure this stuff out. You're basically thrown with a white canvas and said, "Hey, paint something." You're like, well,
Right.
What the freak do I paint? There's so much to think about. I mean, could I paint a forest? Could I
Right.
be Bob Ross, paint a mountain? Or do I go crazy and paint, portraits? I don't know. And because we grow up in this culture of like being told what to do, from kindergarten all the way through college, sit down, shut up, do your work, do the test or whatever.
Right.
You just constantly every day listen to your teacher, do what she says, do your work every single day for the first 15 years of your
Right.
life, 18 years of your life. And then you go out into this culture or into this world and say, "Hey, I want to be a small business owner." Well, who's going to tell me what to do? Where do I go?
Yeah.
I don't have I don't have my mom yelling at me. I don't have the teacher telling me what to do. Where do I go? I don't have a boss.
Right.
And so do you think it's a deficit to take them on and tell them and kind of show them the direction in a way?
I don't think so, because I mean, you just said it. The first 15 or 18 years of their life, they were never guided to do that.
Yeah.
And then you show them, you go through these 15 or 18 years of, hey, you got to learn English and you have to learn math and you're going to learn all this stuff that when you become a business owner, you're probably not going to use the majority of it.
No.
Right. So, right. I mean, that's just
I use multiplication to add up my commission.
Yeah, you know what? I use my calculator. That's what I use.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm very bad at math, so believe me. But no, I think mentoring someone and giving somebody that opportunity is great. It's great because you're gonna help them get to a certain spot way before they would have done it on their own.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter how good of a mentor you are, that person you're mentoring is still gonna fumble here or there. It's gonna happen. I mentioned too, when I first started, it was good when I started my first business because the gentleman that helped me open up my business was well known in town, so he was giving me, he was getting me with his connections, and so I was staying busy. And then I took all that for granted because then when I had to go look for my own work, I wasn't able to do it, right? Had I been mentored on how to go look for my own business, then maybe I would have kept my business. Or maybe not, but at least I would have had a better shot at it, all right?
Do you miss the electrical business?
Nah, no more. Not at all, man.
Just checking.
Nah, maybe in the wintertime, but not in the summertime.
Yeah, because again, we've taken on a mentee regarding the CEO network, and I had a conversation with her today, and I said, and I was coming at this epiphany point where it's like, you know what you want, and you have a good sense of direction. I want you to like leap and fly. Whether you fail or not, we'll still be here. Like the little bird on the tree. The tree's still here. It ain't going anywhere. But I just want you to try and see how it goes. And then if things don't work out, just come back.
Right.
And I think there is a good sense of growth there when you don't tell somebody what to do necessarily, and they figure it out for themselves. And it's, I get this idea of like when they become the master and they start teaching you.
Right.
I think that's probably the most awesome feeling in the world when they come back and they're like, "Hey, this is what I learned."
Right.
Like, "Oh shit, I didn't think of that."
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that.
Right.
Yeah. And so as far as like mentorships, I didn't know if that was something.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I think there's a big difference between you handing somebody everything and then just making it easy versus you teaching them how to work hard and how to get that, right? And a lot of people do confuse that. And it's like, hey, you know what? I know you. You're my family member. Let me give you all this. That's where you make a mistake, where you give everything to them and not teach them how to get that on their own.
You kind of do that with your kids, though, right? A little bit, like because like you see so much of yourself in them.
Mm-hmm. I think you do, but now that my son is working with me, like I always tell myself, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't just go. Don't go spend money on leads, Mario, and then just give them to your son. What are you going to teach him? Because when you're not here, Mario, how is he going to be successful? You know. So I sort of want to do that, but I won't, because I have to treat him just like I treat any other of my agents, right? It's not going to be fair for my team members to say, hey, wait a minute, well, that's your son, you're taking care of him.
Does he get mad at you too?
No, you know what? He actually, it's pretty cool, because he's like, Dad, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't want that. I need to work hard for it, and I need to earn it on my own. Perfect. It makes it easier for me, even though it doesn't. But I'll just say it does.
Yeah, and I think as we were talking before the show too, I think the biggest key to thriving in any business, and this goes for everybody that's watching too, the biggest key is who you surround yourself with.
Right.
And because those are the people that are going to bring you down, or they're going to push you up, or they're going to push you in a way you didn't think you were going to go.
Right.
One of the biggest people, one of my bigger challenges, emotional challenges, was my dad. My dad, before I got into real estate, he's like, oh, son, you're not going to have insurance. You're not going to have a paycheck. The state's a really good job to have, And in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I already know all this stuff. Yeah. Don't be telling me that. I just want to hear, like, Dad, so much of him, I just want to scream at him and, like, say, Dad, I just need your support. I just want to know that, hey, what I want to hear is, son, you're going to do great.
Yep.
We'll be here if shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Go out there. Fucking kill it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. I didn't hear that. Yeah. I got all the, I don't know if it's in his mind. He's like, I don't know if we're gonna have to pay for this shit. Right. We're gonna have to be. I guess we can make room for the bed. I guess whatever. We're supposed to be retired, and I don't know what's going on in his mind, but it was definitely not supportive. Yeah. And so one of the biggest things that again, talking about networking and surrounding yourself with people is being conscientious of who you surround yourself with. And when I told my dad that I was doing that, it took about 2 weeks for me to muster up the strength, because I had to prepare myself emotionally to hear the negativity. When I got my divorce, I prepared myself for literally 2 weeks to tell my dad, hey, I got a divorce. Because the one thing I was waiting to hear from him is like, well, what, you didn't give her enough sex or what? It's like, no, it's not what I want to hear. I want to hear, hey, son.
Right.
But he did surprise me with the divorce thing. He did surprise me. He did say, hey, son, it's okay. Everything will be okay. Yeah. Like, oh, shit. I prepared myself for 2 weeks. Just don't know. But again, somebody like that, somebody like my dad in my life was a significant figure. Mm-hmm. And what he could say, with those literal next words, those 3-4 word sentence that he could say, could veer me off one way or the other.
Right.
And luckily for me, I'm driven enough to where, like, I pushed that aside and I kept going. Mm-hmm. And then literally 3 years later, he's like, yeah, I told him to get into that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
no, he didn't. But networking. So, and you find that as well, right? Networking and going out there, meeting people of like-minded.
Absolutely. I love it, bro. It's if you're a business owner and you're not networking, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. Because you may meet somebody who's been in the business for less time than you, or you may meet somebody that's been in the business longer than you. Yeah. And meeting that person that's been in the business less time than you takes you back, and it's like, hey, slow down. This is where you were at a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you talk to that person with more experience than you, or been in the business longer than you. Then you say, okay, that's where I want to be. How'd you get there? Hey, here's what I did. Oh shit. Well, I've been doing that. Okay, well, keep doing it. Keep doing it, and you'll get here. Maybe you even pass me.
Well, that's the hope, Yeah. And I reflect. I sit here and reflect all the time. Like there was a time where when I started doing video work, it was literally in this building in the conference room that I had one of my first few videos in. And I remember the girl that I interviewed. I was like, yeah, maybe one day I'll get an office here. And I swear, literally, like 4 or 5 years later, we have an office here.
Nice.
And it's just that consistent pursuit and connections and people. The biggest benefit I think in any business is, again, who you associate with. Mm-hmm. If you're around needy people that just suck your time, and everybody knows those people because they're usually your family.
Right. Yep.
They're like, Especially like the ones that 5 years ago, like Mario, you're not gonna make it in insurance. What's wrong with you? And then, hey Mario, can I borrow $100? Is that okay? Is that cool? Yeah, I see you driving that that Lexus.
Yeah.
What kind of car do you have?
An Escalade.
Oh, I see you driving that Escalade. I know you got $100. Come on, man. Come on. I'll give it back to you next week. You're like, dude, you haven't paid me the $20 from when we were 18.
Yeah. Right.
And so it really matters. I think at the end of the day, it really, really matters who you connect with.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even with you mentioning your dad, my mom, I'll call her. I leave the office 7 or 8 at night, and I'm like, oh, I'm barely going home. Mijo, don't work so much. Why are you working so late? And I'm like,
I hear that shit.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. All I gotta say is take care of yourself, mijo, but keep working hard. I have to work hard, Mom. It's my business. I don't work for anybody else, And it's not just my business. I'm not just here for me. I said, there's people that report to me that I have to look out for. That's why I work hard. That's why I stay late at the office, And it's always the same thing. You're working too many hours. Something's going to happen to you. Why is something going to happen to me? What's wrong? I sit in an office all day.
I'm not going to dehydrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that all the time too. I think because, again, they want to have that shared moment with you.
Right.
They see you succeeding. They see these things that they're very envious of. And I think some family members can grow very jealous of that. And then that's when the negative stuff happens. But people grow very envious.
Right.
And they see your successes and they see kind of the things that are going great for you, especially if you see it on Facebook and all that stuff.
Right.
And they want to be there with you. They want to share that moment and be like, hey, I'm right here with you.
Yeah.
So much of this work, so much of the entrepreneurship is just being alone.
Yep.
Hey, I need to focus. I need to focus my energy. I will set a time aside, but it'll be very limited because I have a dream. I have a passion. And when you have a dream and a passion, just people kind of forget about that. Yeah. They're supportive at the beginning, like, oh, yeah, go get your dream.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, well, he's never here, but he's doing it.
Yep.
It's just a crazy different mindset to be in.
Yeah. You have to shift your mindset, right? Yeah. We go to school, we go to college, we get this degree, we get loans. We're in $150,000, $200,000 in debt because we went and got these college degrees. Yeah. Because we were always trained to go get a college degree so you can work for a big company and you can move up and you can have this and that. And it's like, I think we need to switch that around a little bit. Do
you have a college degree too?
I do. I have a bachelor's and a master's.
Oh shit! I have a bachelor's.
Yeah.
You beat me. What are they in?
In business management.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, both of them. And so it's good to have something like that, but it didn't get me where I wanted to be. Yeah. It didn't get me where I planned or where I was told all these years where I was going to end up in. I worked and I was managing call centers for over 10 years. Yeah. And I peaked at about $95,000 a year in 10 years, and I was managing maybe about 500 people. And that was it. And so then I got here where I'm at now, and my first year I was able to break a little bit more than that. And I was like, holy shit. And they didn't even ask me for my degree here.
Yeah. I went to school for social work, and I got a social work degree. Right. Do not get a social work degree. If you want a life and you want money, do not do social work. Yeah. Social work, I topped out at $53,000 a year. Yeah. Working 80 hours a week, taking kids from houses. Do not get a social work degree. Yeah. But it's applied to everything that I'm doing now. So that is a benefit. So, I do agree. I'm more on the Robert Kiyosaki, don't get a formal education. Unless you do it for yourself. Unless it's an accomplishment. Like, hey, this is one of those things in life that I think you should do. And if I ever have kids, one of the things will be, it'll be your choice. But it'll be a choice whether you want the experience or not. Not so much like you have to do this.
Right.
Because so much more money is made out there in the businesses and successes you can do all on your own.
Right.
And
for me, getting those degrees wasn't as much as just because I want to get a better job or want to be the CEO of somebody else's company. It was more to prove to my son that I could change my world around, right? When I was younger, I was always getting in trouble. I think I got kicked out of about 2 or 3 different high schools. And so, my son knew what I was up to.
Yeah.
And so my thing was, okay, so if I can show him that I can get that turned around, and I go to college and I get a degree, and I at first I was going to stop with my bachelor's, and then I said, well, a few more years and I'll get my master's. All right, let's do it. And then one of my older sisters says, hey, are you going to go for your doctor's? I said, fuck no, I'm done with school. That's it. No.
Yeah, I know. The nice part about school is it gives you a beginning and end point. It gives you an accomplishment.
Yep.
Small business, there's no cheering at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, there's more grief.
Right.
Why aren't you home on time? Why didn't you go buy the thing you need? Why didn't you go buy the present I told you about?
Right.
Why didn't you go take out the trash? I'm like, oh shit, I hear this every day.
Yeah. Yep.
There's with small business, it never ends. There's a continuous spectrum.
Yep.
It just keeps going, and you don't hear the cheers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear like, oh yeah, I did it. I got the degree in
Right.
nothing, because it's a constant sale. You constantly have to move, and you
Right.
constantly have to shift. And if things aren't going well in one area of your business, then you got to shift it to the other. So I think that's probably the one thing that I think people miss.
Yeah.
When it comes to owning a business,
Mm-hmm.
they don't hear the cheers. If
Right.
anything, they hear more grief.
Yeah.
Like, well, why are you spending all your time on that passion? What is it? How much money is it making you?
Yeah.
No, there's a bigger thing. I have a feeling like the CEO network, when we first started this whole thing, wasn't making any money. We were putting in money into this stuff,
Right.
and it was such a struggle. And all I ever heard was like, well, you're not making money. You're not making money. No, but there's something bigger. There's something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And once people start seeing it, once people start believing in it, it'll just manifest on its own.
Yep.
And I won't have to do anything. We're at like 5 years now, and it's manifested to all this stuff.
Right.
So just, I think for me, as we wrap up the show today, the one thing for me is just don't give up on the dream.
Absolutely.
Surround yourself with good people and push through every single challenge, because
Right.
you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The basic things that you need are food, shelter, and water.
Right. Yep.
And if you screw up, so networking, if you screw up and you obliterate every relationship, you won't have a place to live.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
But those very basic things, you'll be fine. I think people get scared and they're not going to have money, and money's not everything.
Yep. Yeah. And to what you said, don't give up. Don't give up. No matter how many times you make a mistake and you don't succeed the way you think you were going to succeed, don't give up. What I tell everybody is, you haven't failed until you've given up. That's when you failed.
Those are words to live by. So as we wrap up today's show, I appreciate you, sir, Mr. Garay, for coming in. I'm going to promote your business real quick. If you guys head over to Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and put this on there. That's us. Senor Garay has a health insurance business. If you go over to, let me get that out of the way. If you go to Facebook, MG Insurance Advisor, you can find him on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about the business one more time while we're
Yep.
scrolling through?
Yeah. So MG Health Insurance Advisor. We work with individuals, small business owners, and families when it comes to private PPO plans.
That sounds awesome. And then also, too, on Facebook, if you go to USHA Phoenix Spartans, do you want to talk about this real quick, sir?
Yep. So this is a page we created for people in my office, some of the agents that work with me. This is just a way to show, how proud we are of what they do. We take pictures in the office. If somebody's hit a milestone. One of the things important, right, when you start a business is mentorship. So as you can see on this picture here, we have one of our good agents here, Michael Benton, who's got one of the newer agents with him where he's shadowing him. They both have headsets on, so they can hear what's going on. It's on a live call.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's part of what we do to help people out here. On this guy here, Jordan, I mean, we stay late at work. We stay late at the office, maybe 7, 8. Sometimes at 9 p.m. we're still in the office, depending on what we're doing. But, our end goal is always help other people every day.
So USHA Phoenix Spartans, go check them out there, as well as go check out Mario at, let me get my face out of there, MG Health Insurance Advisor. He'll advise you on your health insurance needs for your small business and being an entrepreneur, solopreneurs, all those good things. So as we wrap up today's show, I appreciate you, sir, for coming in as usual. This is second go around, so you get to do it twice.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to kind of chit chat. And luckily, maybe next time we get into more. But check us out October 21st. Mr. Gray is a sponsor at RCO Network on October 21st. So come out and see him, come out and see me, and the rest of the crew. And we'll see you guys next Thursday.